Welcome back to Shirley Povich Field for Game 2 of a doubleheader. The Big Train rallied late to win Game 1, 8-5, their 8th win in a row. Meanwhile, the Grays are trending the opposite direction, losing 5 in a row. The Big Train will be the home team again in Game number 2. We've seen a number of split doubleheaders this season, but this will not be one of them. Trevor Orth takes the mound, and Quincy, you noted something. This is not just his first start. It's also his first appearance at home this season.
Yeah, this guy got pulled out of the concession stand last year to come pitch some innings for the Big Train last year. He started the year as a game day ops intern and got added to the team, and not only making his first appearance at home, has played 4 appearances as a road warrior, his first start as well.
So Orth familiar with the Shirley Povich confines, but has not pitched here all season. Eliot Brooks-Rubin alongside me is Quincy Bell. Gibson hurt on the dials and knobs, twisting and turning as usual. Orth will take on a mostly new lineup for the Grays, just 2 returners. Andrew Ruggieri, who pitched yesterday for the Grays, will lead off and play center field. Orth's first offering is a strike after Ruggieri pulled back a bunt. Noel Rivera will play short. He will bat second, unrelated to Andy Rivera, who had a 3-hit day in game number 1. 0-1 pitch, outside. We will give you the full starting lineup after this at-bat. Orth's 1-1, right on the corner for strike 2. Orth this season has been a little bit of a mixed bag. He has a 6.75 ERA, but just a 2.19 batting average against. His most recent outing was his worst. He allowed 3 earned across 2 2/3 innings against the South County Braves on June 29th. Counts even at 2. Orth kicks and deals, misses high and away for ball 3.
Yeah, Orth has been pretty serviceable as a back-end reliever. Struggled his last time out against the Braves, 3 runs in 2 2/3, but the Big Train are a little limited on arms, so that's why they're going to Orth to start this game.
Orth walks Ruggieri, and we'll take a look at the rest of the starting lineups. For the Grays, it'll be Ruggieri and Rivera. Sam Mosman, who had made just 2 appearances offensively all season, is appearing in both halves of this doubleheader. Ryan Grace will play first. Couchy in again. Rocco Gilbert, the DH, Jack McMullen, Isaac Ahakovi, and Dixon Monk bring up the rear. Noel Rivera at the plate. He's hitting .233. He was the only player on a team with a home run entering today. Tyler Wiltsey changed that with a 2-run blast in game number 1.
A guy that has great power and speed.
Ruggieri takes off, fly ball into center field, pushing Peltier back. He'll make the grab, and Ruggieri will have to retreat to first base. So now Sam Mosman had just 2 offensive appearances, just 2 plate appearances all season, but got the start as the DH, hitting 8th in game number 1. Went 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored, also walked, and hit a hard line drive into right field that was caught. So 3 good plate appearances for Mosman has slid him up to the 7th spot. And this is a DC Grays team that has tried a lot offensively because not much has worked.
Yeah, they're a very single-heavy team, a team that likes to grit out wins. It's just the extra base hits have been lacking.
Orth misses inside on his initial offering to Mosman. Trevor Orth making his first start in a Big Train uniform in his 8th appearance across 2 seasons. He also pitched at Metro South County back in 2023. One-oh pitch, fouled straight back. Crowd is mostly filtered out after game number 1. The 10 a.m. game was the scheduled one. This doubleheader just added yesterday. So a lot of people did not have it in their plans. So the attendance announced for game 1 was around 360. Game 2 looks like it's got about 40 people or so. It's also heated up, which does not help matters. It was a pretty pleasant 85 this morning. It's now closer to 93. Strike 2 on the inside corner.
Orth attacking the zone, which you're going to have to do against this Grays lineup. You do not want to be giving away free passes.
Count even at 2. 1 on and 1 out. Runner takes off. It's Ruggieri. Strike 3 tipped into the mitt. Ruggieri has himself a stolen base, but there's 2 away. A rare time where a foul ball does not mean the runner has to return on a foul tip caught by the catcher, equivalent to a swing and miss in the sport of baseball.
Yeah, there are some teams, like in the younger levels of baseball, where they'll go to the runner and be like, hey, he fouled it, you got to go back, and then they'll tag him out. Not a very nice thing to do.
College level, they're not
they all
usually
know that.
fooled that easily. Yeah,
they all know that.
But have seen it happen at the younger levels. Ryan Grace to hit. The Lafayette Leopard has appeared in 11 games this season, hitting just .219. 0-1 pitch, runs inside. Big Train have some of their high leverage bullpen arms available today, but no starters really were set to go today. So Trevor Orth starting what will likely be a bullpen game unless he's able to give them some surprising length.
Well, they only need 7 innings.
And got 7 innings out of 2 pitchers in game number 1. Gladden and Stewart and Kaler should all be available. Those are maybe the 3 highest leverage bullpen arms. So a close game should favor the Big Train. Ball 3 runs inside. Orth's 3-1 is his high, and he's walked 2 batters.
That's really the only key when facing the Grays, is to limit the walks, because that's how they hurt you, is like they eventually just wait for the big hit after pushing runner after runner after runner on.
Here's Luke Cauchy. Cauchy 1 for 3 with a run scored in game 1, part of that 4-run 4th inning that looked like it was going to have the Grays taking home game number 1 until the Big Train offense rallied in the 6th. Foul tip, catches a piece of Dylan Murphy's a little shaken up. One skips away from Murphy. The runners will each advance 90 feet. Big turnaround third for Ruggieri, but he'll stay put. A 2 in scoring position with 2 away.
And Orth's going to need to make a pitch here to Cauchy. 10 RBIs on the year, a 362 on base, one of the better hitters in this Gray lineup.
Two 2-1 from Orth. This is high again, in danger of walking the bases loaded. Orth set. Now kicks and deals. Popped up on the infield. Right behind second base. Peltier calls off Martinez. That ball traveled a little farther than the infield. But out number 3, Trevor Orth works around a pair of walks and a wild pitch, strands 2 in scoring position. Big Train will come to bat when we come back on the Big Train Baseball Network. train bat in the bottom of the first. It'll be Alex Peltier, Brennan Wright, and Brett Ott to start things off. They'll take on Dean Kira, a Stevenson Institute of Technology product, who has made 4 appearances this season, 2 of them coming against the big train.
Yeah, he's been okay at times this year from the left-handed side. The big train hitting 3 lefties in a row at the top of this order.
Peltier the righty before 3 lefties skies the first pitch into right field. Sun giving both fielders trouble, but it'll be Ruggieri in center calling off McMillan and Wright for out number 1.
Yeah, we saw that come into play in the other game.
Take a look at the big train lineup. A couple of changes from game number 1. It'll be Brennan Wright, Brett Ott, who's hitting in the 3-hole for the first time all season. Skronsky, Wesley Panett, Martinez Corbin, and then Murphy replacing Hawk in the 9 spots. The main changes: Ott in for Steele, Murphy in for Hawk. Everything else stays the same. Ball 1 high to Brennan Wright, who reached 3 times in game number 1, including the game-winning RBI knock to make the score 6-5. His on-base streak is 23. Strike 1, right at the knees. 1-1 pitch skips to the backstop.
And Wright is a guy who hits better against left-handed pitching. He has some magnificent reverse splits coming into yesterday. 15 for 30 against lefties. Even 500 on the year. That's unheard of from a lefty.
2-1 pitch sails to the backstop. So first one that makes it about 54 feet, and then one that goes over everybody's head. And the count is 3-1. Brennan Wright is on a 6-game hit streak in addition to his 23 games in a row on base. 3-1 pitch outside for ball 4, make it 24 straight games. And Wright just needs to do so twice more to make it all the way to the All-Star break, reaching in every game he's played in.
I'd imagine he'll be playing in that All-Star game as well. We'll see if that wouldn't count for the streak, but I'd imagine if he plays in the All-Star game, he'll get on.
Yeah, may only get 1 or 2 plate appearances, but...
And it'll be against the best pitchers in the league.
With the way he gets on, it might not matter. Brett Ott batting third. We were talking to the players in between games, and Brett Ott said, quote, "I haven't hit third since T-ball." So we'll see what he can do in the 3 spot. Peyton Steele went 0 for 4 in game number 1. So he takes a seat for game 2. Emilio Gonzalez getting a full day off, which leaves Matt Wesley at first, and Ott, the final remaining outfielder, with Steele out and Wesley in the infield. Ott hasn't played since Wednesday. First pitch is high.
You know, we thought maybe he was nursing some sort of injury because he's been so terrific when he's played this year. But clearly no issues with him hitting third.
Sat the last 3 games. Before that, his previous 7 games, he's hitting .481, including 2 3-hit games and a 4-hit game. That pitch above the zone, but called a strike. Kira from the left side. Bounces ball 2. Brendan Wright takes off with the ball in the dirt, and no throw from Isaac Iacovi. Call that a wild pitch, and Brendan Wright's got himself in scoring position.
Nice quick jump there from Wright. No question on whether or not he was going.
Ott has just 7 RBIs this season, a little surprising given his .367 average and .523 on base.
Just doesn't hit with a lot of runners on sometimes.
Also has a tendency to draw walks in with guys in scoring position. 2-1 count. Pitch at the knees, just low. Josh Skronsky stands on deck. He has been mashing the baseball lately, including a hit and 2 walks in game number 1. He had a triple last night that drove in 2. 3-1 pitch from Kira. Comes home, and this one's hit high in the air. pushing back McMullen, but plenty of room in front of the track. Brendan Wright tags from second. There will be no throw. So Brett Ott moves a runner over. There are 2 away for Skaronski.
Yeah, Ott, not really a big power hitter, but with hitting third for the first time ever, powering one deep into the outfield, I thought maybe he got all of that for a second.
Right off the bat, looked like it might have a little more distance than it actually did. Here's Josh Skaronski, who is a power hitter. He's got 4 doubles, 2 triples, and 3 home runs on the season. A fascinating blend of speed and power from a 6'5" righty. The pitch gets away, and Brendan Wright will come in to score. Isaac Alcovey couldn't handle the hop off the backstop, and a big first run for the Big Train.
Yeah, the Grays were giving away runs at the end of the last game to the Big Train. A multitude of errors in that last inning. Just let their lead slip away. It kind of felt like that was a game they really should have won.
That led 5-2 going to the bottom of the 5th. Big Train tacked on 1 and then really piled on in the 6th, where the first 5 men reached base. So Skaronski now bats with nobody on and 2 outs. Brendan Wright coming home to score. Skaronski has reached in every start he's made this season. 2-0 count. Hit hard foul down the right field line. Two-one pitch. This is outside. Skaronski riding an 8-game hit streak. Three-one pitch to him. Flown into left field. Plenty of space out there for Mosman, who secures out number 3. Big Train pick up a run on no hits. Did not strand anybody. Trevor Orth back on the mound for inning number 2. Trevor Orth back on the mound for inning number 2, now pitching with a lead. He will face Rocco Gilbert, Jack McMullen, and Isaac Alcovey. Gilbert to bat first, one of the better hitters in this lineup out of Bishop McNamara. He has hit .286 with a .729 OPS. Orth offers. Gilbert fouls. Rocco Gilbert, the Alabama State product. Curious if you know their mascot, Quincy.
Hornets, I believe.
They are the Hornets. Haven't stumped you in a while.
I know quite a bit. I just don't know every single one.
Orth 0-1 in the dirt. You definitely have Jackson beat. He's good, but not as good.
There was a guy in the last that played in the last game for DC out of a DC through D3 school. Their mascot was the Diplomats.
I believe Franklin and Marshall. I could be wrong about that.
I can't remember. I should have remembered.
Orth gets a generous strike 2 call, now delivers the 1-2 in the dirt. Orth has thrown 16 balls to just 11 strikes thus far, but has limited the damage. 2-2 pitch. Check swing, and he went around. Rocco Gilbert tagged out for out number 1 and strikeout number 2 for Orth.
After 2 walks in the first, looks like he's settled in nicely here in the second.
He'll take on Jack McMullen. McMullen out of Liberty, hitting just .217 on the year, although with a .438 on base. First pitch in off the plate. One out. Curveball drops in for strike 1. Orth with the unique over-the-head glove movement and earns a foul ball for his troubles.
Yeah, pretty old-fashioned. You don't see that anymore. Also got an old-timey looking mustache on him.
Yeah, the mustache, the hair, even the glasses have a strap going back. They're not sports goggles, and I'm not sure he wears them on the mound, but the rest of the time. Line drive into left, it's Brett Ott out there, who trots over to his right for out number 2. You'll see Orth walking around the ballpark with glasses on that have a strap running behind them that just kind of hang at the back of his neck. An old-fashioned guy. Big Train as a team do some things the old-fashioned way. All the socks up. First pitch, low and in to Isaac Ahokovi, the backstop for today's game. I think I'm going to stump you with this one. Foul ball out of play. Ahokovi is out of Nichols State.
Oof. Well, I don't know. I'll get it. Let me think.
Yeah, you have till the end of his at-bat.
Okay, so their logo is a red letter N with a sword running through it. So I want to say Pirates, but I know that's wrong, so I'm not going to say that. I know they're from Louisiana. I know they beat LSU in basketball one year, and it was a really big deal for them because LSU was ranked.
I know a lot about Nichols State, but can you get the mascot?
Are they like the Silver Swords?
No.
What are they?
They are the Colonels.
Yeah. I had the right idea. But
yeah, you got the logo. The logo's correct. It's the N with
I know what their logo
is. The sword right through it.
I didn't know that one.
2-2, 2 outs. Orth delivers. Just nudged foul. Orth's offering high. Count runs full with 2 outs. Isaac Ahokovi this season has worked 11 walks and 2 hit by pitches in 12 games. 7 of those free passes have come in 2 games against the Big Train, make that 8 in 3. So he is working a lot of really good at-bats against Big Train pitching. He's
182 average on the year, but a 413 on base.
And against the Big Train, including that at-bat, he has now reached in 9 of 11 plate appearances. So Ahokovi's got the Big Train's number. See if the 2-out walk can result in a tying run. It's Dixon Monk, the 2025 Riverdale Baptist graduate, who is committed to Georgetown.
Georgetown. Shirley Povich Field actually used to be Georgetown's home field.
Nowadays, it is Big Train and nobody else at the college level. 1-1, up and away. Or that was an 0-2 pitch, actually. I count now 1-2. Monk in 8 games is hitting just 167. He's got just 2 hits on the year. 1-2 pitch. In there for strike 3. Trevor Orth strikes out 2 batters in the inning. He walks 1 and leaves him on first. Big Train still lead 1-0. Five, 6, and 7 as the Big Train look to extend their lead. Wesley, Panette, and Martinez. First pitch from Kira in the dirt. Wesley in game 1 was hit by a pitch in the first and grounded out into a fielder's choice, but drove in a run in the 6th. 1-0 pitch bounced again. Getting back-to-back starts at first base for the first time all season. Emilio Gonzalez scheduled for a day off, and then the late decision to move to a doubleheader he'll keep his day off, just out of the lineup for both games.
Safe to say he's earned it.
3-0 pitch, well outside, a 4-pitch walk for Wesley, and absolutely he has earned it. The way that Gonzalez has played on both sides of the ball, I mean, he is maybe the star offensively of this league in the first half, but has also been quietly maybe the Big Train's most consistent defender. He or Alex Peltier in center field. Or Peyton Steele in right. Steele has been remarkably talented out there. First pitch outside to Logan Panette. So 5 pitches, 5 balls for Kira to start his second inning of work. Panette starting to swing the bat hot again. 2-hit game in the first half of this doubleheader, coming off the heels of a 4-for-4 night last night. 1-0 pitch at the knees for strike 1. Kira, long look in. Comes set, now delivers outside. Wesley entering today, the OPS was over 1,000, the only guy on the Big Train. 2-1 pitch, bounced in the dirt again. He has not been able to throw his slider 60 feet. Or more accurately, he's been thrown at 60 feet and not 60 feet 6 inches plus lift off the ground.
Yeah, the 6 inches is costing him some strikes at the bottom of the zone.
He's also just bounced a few like right in front of the plate. 3-1 pitch is in the zone and fouled away by Wesley. Full count pitch. Kira home, and a wave and a miss from Logan Panett, who is down on strikes for out number 1. And that, Quincy, is the first time the Big Train have struck out as a team all day.
Yeah.
Inning number 9.
No strikeouts in the entire game against the Grays first time.
So 8+ innings before their first K on the day. And this is a Big Train team that does not strike out a lot as a rule. They lead the league in fewest strikeouts as an offense. They also lead the league in most strikeouts as a pitching staff. Good combination to have.
Oh, yeah.
But this has been maybe their most impressive day at not striking out. Hasn't been their most impressive offensive day. That has to go to 20 or 21 run performances. But this has been quite the clinic in bat-to-ball skills. Martinez behind 0-2. He was 1 for 3 in game number 1. He bunted for a single to lead off that 6th inning. Oh, 2 pitch. Ball high. Kira delivers. Loopy curveball above the zone and popped up on the infield. Charging hard is Monk, and it'll be Kira calling off everyone for out number 2.
You don't normally see the pitcher be the one to scream at the infielders to call off for a pop-up.
And Dixon Monk got a late break on it from third. Al Covey behind the plate didn't have a great read on it, and Kira was just kind of standing there. Called it right at the last second and made the grab. Now Parker Corbin, who did one thing in game number 1 and did it exceptionally well. He walked 3 times. He scored twice. He swiped the bag. And ball 1 skips to the backstop. Matthew Wesley goes 90 feet. That is the 3rd wild pitch thrown by Kira.
Yeah, it's the pitches that Kira's been missing. They've been particularly far out of the zone.
He has thrown 31 pitches, 19 balls to 12 strikes. And his misses, like you said, have not been competitive. 1-0 at the knees for strike 1. He has been able to locate that pitch right at the knees with his 85 or so mile-an-hour fastball. But the off-speed pitch has not worked so far. However, Kira is not allowed a hit. 1-1 pitch. Corbin goes fishing. One and 2 the count. Kira looking to work around a leadoff walk. And strand Wesley in scoring position. Sat at the letters with the 1-2. Now kicks and delivers. Misses high.
Big pitch here for Kira. Lefty-lefty against Corbin, a guy who's really struggled against the lefties when he's gotten playing time. Just a 188 average. Got to make a pitch here.
2-2. Just misses outside. And the count is full. Base is open after the wild pitch. But Kira would obviously prefer not to walk his 3rd batter of the game. Corbin, though, a very patient hitter, and sees a payoff pitch, pops it up in fair territory, now drifting foul. Dixon Monk makes the catch for out number 3. Dean Kira works around a leadoff walk, strands a runner at second base. Still 1-0 after 2.
Top half of the third here from Shirley Povich Field. Trevor Orth has yet to allow a hit in his first start of the season and first appearance at home. He'll walk to the top of the DC Grays order: Ruggieri, Rivera, and Mosman. First up is Andrew Ruggieri. Walked, stole second in his first at-bat. Was stranded at third after a sac fly. First pitch from Orth. Curveball misses in the dirt at just 70 miles an hour. Orth has a pretty big speed differential between the fastball and the curveball. Not a guy that has overpowering stuff, but some good differentials. 1-0. Fastball misses low. Orth out of Roanoke College. Into the windup over his head. Misses high with the fastball, 3-0 the count.
Struggled with command in this game, has already walked 3 and thrown 3 more balls than strikes.
3 walks to 3 strikeouts. Ruggieri draws his first walk, or his second walk of the outing. So here is Noel Rivera. 17 RBIs on the year, does have a home run.
5 of his 17 have come against the Big Train in 2 games. He's played 21 on the year, but like Covey at the bottom of the lineup, his best games have come against the Big Train.
He's showing a bunt, and Orth backs him off the plate with a fastball way inside. Rivera flew out to deep center in his first at-bat. We've yet to see a hit from either side in this game. The Big Train got their run thanks to a Brennan Wright walk. Got to second and scored on a wild pitch. Here's a throw down by Murphy to get the stealing Ruggieri. Not in time. So no sacrifice bunt needed from Rivera with Ruggieri already at second. They could try to still lay it down and get him to third.
Second stolen base for Ruggieri in this game, and this is a DC Grays team that runs frequently and successfully.
1-1. Taken outside.
Rivera hitting behind Ruggieri has 11 on the year, and this lineup in game number 2 doesn't even contain Ryan Sung, the league leader at 25.
He led off the first game, was quiet in an 0-for-4 effort. Fastball taken up and in by Rivera, 3-1 the count. Orth trying to avoid back-to-back walks to start the third. Cubs set, looks back Ruggieri at second, now kicks into Flyers. Taken inside, back-to-back walks.
Imagine we might see a pitching coach visit from Craig Lopez.
Well, Craig Lopez is chatting with Sal Colangelo in the dugout. I'd imagine if Orth allows another base runner, he'll go out there. Here is Sam Mosman, a strikeout victim in his first at-bat. Pops one high in the air down the line, but foul out of play. Corners are playing in for the Big Train. Wesley at first and Panette at third are both on the cut of the infield grass. The Grays love to play small ball, and that is what they're anticipating. Mosman takes a fastball at the knees for strike 2.
And if you watch Logan Panette, he is having to stay active over there at third because there's always the risk that Ruggieri takes off. So he's a little bit now backing up, but still pretty far off the bag. When he was at the cut, he's kind of turning himself around after that pitch is thrown.
0-2. Popped foul straight back. Ryan Grace waits on deck for the Grays. 5 walks already in the outing for Trevor Orth, looking for his 4th strikeout. Chopped foul by Mosman. And this is a Grays team that does not strike out a lot when they hit, just 4th in the league for least amount of strikeouts. 1st in stolen bases, a high number of walks. The slug and the OPS has just not been there. It's been just a lot of manufacturing runs and scrapping away wins when available.
And they were doing a really good job of that for a while, but the offense has quieted even further lately, and they've lost some close games and some late blown leads.
0-2, Mosman takes just outside. That's a good take right there.
It's a very good take, and the Grays were 12-6 at one point, the same record as the Big Train, but they've lost 5 in a row since, including first half of the Twin Bill.
They now sit a game and a half behind the Southern Maryland Senators, leading the South Division.
Yeah, Senators stopped their own spill with a sweep of a doubleheader yesterday against the Grays. They had a dominant lead over the division and then had fallen apart to start a road trip.
2-2 grounded to third. Panett will tag Ruggieri for one. Throw to first, not in time. But Panett able to sit down the lead runner.
A smart play by Panett to see the runner bearing down on him, get the tag. He may have had a shot at turning a 5-4-3 double play, but that ball wasn't hit super hard, so it might have been tricky. Good, smart base running, though, by Ruggieri. He stops himself, forces Panett to chase him, and that allows Mosman to reach on what otherwise could have been a double play 5-3.
Ryan Grace takes a pitch in the dirt. Murphy blocked it, but it got too far away from him, so Rivera gets to third and Mosman gets to second.
Second time Orth has thrown a wild pitch with 2 runners on. This time, though, just 1 out, so he'll have to work a little harder.
He's been dancing out of trouble through his first 3 innings. Chopped foul by Grace. Dylan Murphy, who is doing the catching today, has been magnificent. There's a stat called catcher ERA. It's not that complicated of a stat. It's just pitcher ERA, but you take it into account for when a specific catcher catches. Swing and a miss by Grace. Count as 1 and 2. Murphy, by far the lowest on the Big Train team of the 3 catchers, a 3.71 ERA as a catcher.
I compare that to Jacob Hawk, who has been pretty fantastic behind the plate himself. However, the catcher ERA is 5.78.
Orth gets the fastball in the inner half, and Grace is rung up. 4 strikeouts for Trevor Orth.
Season high. Orth only had 5 all year coming in. Make that 6, excuse me, but his single game high was 3 all the way back on June 11th.
Here's Luke Cauchi. Pops one high in the air, shallow center. Peltier coming in, right going back. It's Peltier who, more times than not, will call off the backpedaling infielders. Trevor Orth through 3 scoreless innings as we head to the bottom of the 3rd. Bottom 3 set to start from Shirley, Povich. It's 9, 1, and 2 due up for the Big Train. Dylan Murphy, who we just talked about how well he's been doing defensively behind the plate. He'll get a chance to swing the lumber, hitting .350 on the year in limited playing time, playing every other game with Jacob Hawk. First pitch from the lefty, Dean Kira, grounded over to second, fielded on a hop by Cauchy. Short arms the throw to first, but Grace goes down and gets it for the first out.
Cauchy waited back on that ball a while. Thought he should have taken a couple steps in and played one hop sooner. But no matter, as it's out number one either way.
Here's Peltier. Flew out to center field in his first at-bat. Shows a bunt. Pulls it back. Dixon Monk charging from third. And he'll stay on the cut of the infield grass. Actually, now he takes a few steps back. We'll see if Peltier's still bunting. No hits in the game for either side yet. Peltier takes high.
It combined 7 walks, 5 by Orth, just 2 by Kira. However, one of those came around for the only run of the game. So the Big Train are the ones with the lead.
Peltier takes below the zone. 3-0 the count. Not the guy you want to walk with his speed and stolen base prowess. But Kira misses outside, and we'll see if Peltier tries to manufacture a second run for the Big Train. So here's Brennan Wright. Extended his on-base streak last game, or last plate appearance. The work lefty on lefty against Kira again. Peltier with a massive lead over at first. Kira with a little bit of a move. Came to the plate, but Peltier had to take a step back. Another big lead for the ECU Pirate. Kira set, looks him back. Pick off to first. Peltier back. Lefties are always tough to steal bases on because you don't know when they're going to first or when they're going to the plate.
Alex Peltier, though, so good against anyone.
Kira delivers high to right. One, another pick off to first. Peltier back again.
And Kira does this thing when he picks off over to first. He did it on both the last two. He'll look to first, then he'll do a quick glance back to the catcher as his body momentum is shifting towards first. And it's something that I'm sure is pretty easy for Peltier to pick up. And there he goes, switches it up that time with a little disengagement off the back.
Kira focusing a lot on Peltier. He's definitely looking to go if you see how big of a lead he has.
I think this is his pitch, too. Kira's picked over twice in a row.
Does not go, and Wright takes high.
I stand corrected.
Kira set. We'll see if he goes over again. Lined into left by Brennan Wright. Getting a late jump on it was Mosman, and he lets it fall in front of him. That's the first hit of the game for either side.
And a little soft serve into left, but Brennan Wright got a lot of spin on that, and Mosman did not pick it up well off the bat. He stopped and started in and then had to stop again. Brennan Wright extends the hit streak to 8 games in a row, matching Skoronsky. Actually, I stand corrected. Skoronsky lost his hit streak. He's got hits in 8 of his last 9.
Well, here's Ott. Runners on first and second with 1 out for him. Peltier, another massive lead off of second. He's still bouncing out there. Kira comes to the plate. Inside, and that ball grazed Ott. He'll have a free pass to first. The bases are loaded for Skoronsky.
Yeah, Kira, I think, just too focused on Peltier over at second. did a really good job of just switching up the timing and making it so Peltier couldn't get a good jump. However, he wasn't really focused on the plate at all and kind of did his leg kick while still looking back at second, never picked up his catcher. And now the bases are loaded. Peltier can't go anywhere, but it's a damaged spot for the power bat in the lineup today.
Skowronski has yet to record a hit with the bases loaded. He's 0 for 3. Does have 1 RBI with a sac fly. And now there's just a meeting between coach and pitcher on the mound. I'd imagine you'd like to keep the lefty in to face Skowronski, who's hitting just 250 against lefties compared to 349 against righties. Has 3 home runs on the year. One of them did come against a lefty.
Yeah, well, nobody even moving in the bullpen, let alone throwing. So the ball is Kira's for a while, just maybe a meeting to say, worry about the batter, settle down a little bit, kind of get your mind right, take a deep breath, all of those things.
The Big Train have hit 1 grand slam on the year. It was Logan Panette, a game-tying shot against these Grays on opening day. Fastball outside to Skowronski for ball 1. 1 out, bases loaded. Kira winds and fires. Skowronski takes inside. Kira's going to really have to dig deep here, because you don't want this lead to get far away from 1. The Big Train 10-2 when they score first, but pretty much unbeatable if you have to come back. Grounded over to second. This could be 2. Turn not in time. So Skowronski grounds into a fielder's choice, but will get an RBI as Peltier crosses to make it 2-0.
Yeah, it's just Josh Skowronski's speed that creates that run. He did hit it right at the second baseman Cauchy, but flying down the line, and he's able to beat out the relay throw. Big Train have shown their speed in a number of ways today. A couple of stolen bases. Alex Peltier didn't have to go anywhere. He just got in Kira's head, and then Skowronski saving a run by beating out a double play. There's more to speed than just stolen bases, and the Big Train sit in the middle of the pack in the Cal Ripken League in steals, but they do so much with their legs that doesn't show up in the box score, and that's just another example right there.
Knowing when to be aggressive, too, is key. Big Train haven't been caught stealing too many times this year. Wesley takes a fastball over the plate for strike 1. Runners on the corners, 2 out. Kira delivers. Wesley takes low. We'll see if Skowronski tries to go, maybe take a base and get 2 in a scoring position with 2 out. 2-1 to Wesley. Gets away, right, thought about coming down, but that ball took a hard beat off the backstop, so it came right back to Ahakovi. Skowronski will get to second anyway.
I think Wright might have had a chance. The ball kicked hard off the backstop, but kind of off to the right side near the first base dugout, or closer to the first base dugout. And Kira was laid off the mound, but you don't really want to take the bat out of a guy like Matthew Wesley's hands.
3-1. In the dirt again, Wesley with a walk. Second walk of the inning and 4th of the game from Dean Kira.
And you definitely don't want to take the bat out of a guy like Logan Panette's hands, who's 6 for his last 9 at the plate and has a walk that, if he replicates that feat, would score a run anyways.
Panette has the average back above 300 due to that 6 for 9 hot streak and takes outside for ball 1. He also has a grand slam on the year. That was the one back on opening day.
Where are you?
1-0. Panette takes high. And with 26 RBIs, leading the entire Cal Ripken League in RBIs is Panette. Had 1 in the first game. Big hit here could maybe solidify that lead for the rest of the season.
I mean, he's competing with a couple of teammates, Emilio Gonzalez, who's been out of the lineup today, Peyton Steele, who is out of the lineup here and doesn't have an RBI in his last 2. So, big day at the plate for Panett would really extend things.
3-0, he could get another RBI with a walk, and that's what he'll do. He takes low. Right will cross, and it's 3-0 on just 1 hit for the Big Train.
The Big Train, very patient hitters. In addition to not striking out very often, just the 1 today, they also, or kind of in combination with, they don't make things easy on opposing pitchers. They're not expanding the zone very often. They're not swinging at pitches in inopportune counts. They're smart about their at-bats.
Martinez takes a curveball low. Kira has let the control get away from him a little bit. 39 balls to just 20 strikes.
And he's now matched Orth with 5 walks in the game. Fortunately for Kira, he's done a much worse job at working around those walks, as 3 runs have now crossed the plate.
Orth yet to give up a run or a hit in his 3 innings. Kira set, winds and fires, misses inside. Curveball at 68, got away from him a little bit. Skoronsky on third, Wesley on second, Panett at first. Kira's 2-1. A nice frame job there by Ahakovi. That pitch might have been low, but the Hawaiian able to pull that one up. Jackson was talking about in the first game how framing a very valuable asset if you can steal strikes for your pitchers as a catcher. 2-2. And he did it again. Another pitch on the black. Strike 3. Martinez down looking, but 2 more runs for the Big Train. They lead at 3-0. You might have missed it at the end of that last half inning, but John Martinez has been ejected from this game for arguing balls and strikes. So there are some defensive changes for the big train. With nobody at short, it's Brennan Wright who moves there. And then Matthew Wesley goes from first to third. Panette, who was at third, now goes to second. And Peyton Steele will now enter the game and play first for Wesley. And Steele will hit in place of Martinez. And there's a new pitcher to tell you about. It's Lucas Marrero taking things over from Trevor Orth.
Marrero's last outing was a little bit of a tough go of it. He pitched in the game. The Big Train lost to the Aces, where they gave up 7 runs in the 6th inning of a 7-inning doubleheader. Marrero came in the game with the bases loaded, allowed a walk, a single, and then a grand slam. Worked 2 clean ones after that, but the damage was done. So looking to bounce back a little bit.
Getting back to Martinez, he actually jogged out, and I saw the umpire do a little flick of the wrist, and Martinez didn't hear him. So he went out to go play short, and then the umpire was just like, hey, man, you're done. Like, I tossed you last inning. And so Martinez just a slow walk back to the dugout, and his day's done early.
Sal Colangelo was heated coming out of the dugout and then had to make some lineup changes. Peyton Steele, who was going to get the day off or the game off to reset a little bit, he's been a little cold with the bat, will now enter and hit 8th.
1-2 from Marrero to Rocco Gilbert, misses in the dirt.
And the defense weakens a little bit with now, Brendan Wright can play short, but Panette playing a little bit out of position. Matthew Wesley has played some third. Panette has played second, Wesley's played third, and Steele's played first, but not any of their primary positions.
This was the exact infield on Monday against the Metro Soco Braves. And they did struggle a little bit in the field.
Yeah, allowed, I believe, 4 unearned runs in one of the in the early innings.
Yeah, that was a throwing error by Wesley with 2 outs, and then 4 runs came to cross afterwards. Payoff from Marrero, chopped slowly back to him. The lefty throws over to first high. That one not on the infield. It's a throwing error on the pitcher Marrero.
And Marrero just trying to soft toss it over there. Gilbert does not run well, but just took a little too much off it on the lollipop and leaves it high. We saw Jordan Capuano pitch last night. He was the other victim outside of Marrero of that 7-run 6th inning. He bounced back beautifully with 3 scoreless. He worked the 6th, 7th, and 8th. He walked 5, but allowed no hits and no runs and struck out 2. Marrero looking to match his outing, but now has to deal with traffic because of his own mistakes.
Kick and the fire from the lefty. Popped up foul out of play near the picnic pavilion. Lost in all of this is 3 scoreless innings from Trevor Orth to start the game. No hits or runs allowed. Did walk 5, but struck out 4. Ultimately, they don't ask how, they ask how many. And 0 runs for the orthopedic surgeon. I was waiting for him to get a strikeout to end an inning so I could get that out there, but figured I'd mention it now. 2-2. Popped up in the air, shallow right, coming in Skoronsky. He dives and makes the catch. The runner's off of first, but nobody's there. Still a magnificent catch by Josh Skoronsky.
Skoronsky hasn't played right in a while because Peyton Steele is so good out there. But moving over after playing left in game number 1 and looking extremely comfortable. Just a good break on the ball, never stopped coming, and lays out. Unclear if that ball was going to be fair or foul, but really tight down the line, and Skoronsky had to go a very long way.
That's where you really like to have that 6'5" frame of his to just have more extension on that dive.
Yeah, the speed and the long arms, both paying off for Skoronsky, who steals an out for his pitcher.
Isaac Ahakovi now steps in, today's catcher. He swings and misses at an outside fastball from Marrero. 0-2 the count. Ahakovi only a 182 hitter, but 413 on base. Very disciplined. 0-2. Takes inside.
And already a walk in this game.
The only man to reach base in the second inning off of Trevor Orth. Big lead at first for Rocco Gilbert. Jacoby again into shallow right. Will Skronsky have another dive? Nope, just an easy catch for the second out. 2 putouts for Skronsky.
That one came a little bit easier. Still needed a good break on that ball to make it look as easy as it did. But Skronsky, like everyone else who plays the outfield on this roster, extremely adept at managing the position.
Here's Dixon Monk. Takes a fastball right down the middle for strike 1. The fastball for Marrero has a little bit of run to it away from right-handed hitters.
2-seam action, runs 8 to 11 inches. On the arm side, running at about 85 to 87 miles an hour.
1-1 to Monk. Down and in.
Marrero out of Lynchburg. Pitched in 5 games, started all of them. Worked to a 4.32 ERA.
Swing and a miss by Monk. 2-2.
Like Orth, he's had a little bit of a mixed bag this year. The ERA coming in at 6.51. He had 2 good outings and 2 bad outings.
2-2. Pops straight into the net.
Best outing was against the Southern Maryland Senators, where he worked 3 innings, allowed just 1 run, and struck out 1. Has pitched against the Grays. Pitched a clean, or a scoreless inning, I should say. Allowed 2 hits all the way back in Big Train's 21-8 victory.
2-2 from Marrero. This is low to Monk. 3-2, 2 out. Rocco Gilbert will have a head start off of first. Got there thanks to a throwing error from Marrero. And the Lynchburg product trying to make sure that that's just water under the bridge. Payoff. Monk swings and misses. Lucas Marrero, his first strikeout out of the bullpen, and he pitches a clean 4th after the air. Big Train looked to add on in the bottom half. Nothing Big Train as we work into the bottom half of the 4th. There has only been 1 hit in this game for either side. There's been a plethora of base runners due to numerous walks, but only 3 runs across all for the home squad, the Big Train, and Dean Kira misses with the first pitch badly. Gets all the way to the backstop on a fly.
Little surprised we're seeing him back out there for a 4th. He has already thrown 67 pitches and has not been accurate. There is action in the bullpen.
There is a lefty warming up. Parker Corbin on the ground to second, fielded by Cauchy. Easy flip over to Grace for the first out.
First time Corbin's put a ball, or second time he's put a ball in play. Walked all 3 times is in game number 1. Worked to count full, but ended up popping out in the second.
Alongside Eliab Brooks-Rubin, my name is Quincy Bell. Gibson Hurt producing as always, and he is going to join the broadcast next half inning. I'm going to step aside. Eliab will have the play-by-play next inning, and Gibson will do an inning or 2 of color.
Yeah, we'll get, I think, more of an interview style.
Either or, he knows ball.
I know he can do color. We'll get some analysis, but also an interview, just a look in the life of Gibson Hurt on the other side of the glass doors that sit to our right. Check out Dylan Murphy's bat.
It's pink. I think that is the new bat that Gonzalez got after his bat shattered against Olney. Grounder over to third. Monk fields on a backhand, throws across in time to get Murphy.
Akira much sharper. We have half of that bat still in the booth with us. Half of it was disposed of earlier today.
Yeah, we tried to do, or Jackson tried to use it as a mic stand, which I thought was very cute. But our boss said that we can't be running around with a shard of wood.
Which is understandable.
Which is understandable.
We do have the barrel half of the bat up here, which it says handcrafted for Bethesda Big Train by Marucci.
Peltier shows a bunt, pulls it back.
It looks the same as the bat that Alex Peltier is holding in his hands. Red on the barrel, blue on the handle.
I think it might even be the exact same.
With an American flag-styled M for Marucci.
And there is a drive deep into the outfield. Going back is Mosman. It'll hit off the wall. Peltier with that blazing speed easily into second base. The first extra base hit of for the Big Train in this game. Peltier does a little dance at second. And we'll see if Wright can drive him in with 2 outs.
And Peltier hit that ball 350 feet. I believe that's the farthest ball he's hit all season. He's cracked now 6 doubles and a triple, but that ball hit the wall on the fly, which I'm not sure he's done this year. Maybe 1 time.
I'd argue he should have 2 triples, because there was a play again at the SoCo Braves where he hit one down the right field line and was just getting to second base when the ball squeaked into the bullpen fencing. He would have had easily a stand-up triple, and he probably could have thought about it inside the park home run. But with the ball getting out of play, he had to stay at second.
Yeah. So regardless, he's not a huge power guy. When he puts a ball in a gap, it's guaranteed extra bases with the way he runs. That one, anyone's getting 2.
1-0, skips away, and Peltier's up to third.
Such a good dirt ball read. That ball barely bounced, and it was not a bad block by Ahakovi. He just let it spin a little too much and bounce in front of Brendan Wright. But Peltier, anytime he sees a ball in the dirt, he's taken off.
Wright takes a strike. Fastball beautifully on the black. A nice place from Kira. 2-1. Taken high. Wright. A walk and a single today. Takes on the corner. Count now full. 3-0 Big Train. 3 runs on 2 hits, 1 error. Zeros across for the Grays. Right on a line to short. Fielded on a hop by Noel Rivera. Thrown across in time. Gibson Hurt will join the broadcast next, but first, he will play you the latest episode of Big Train in the Bigs.
Back with another edition of Big Train in the Bigs. Today, it's Tigers rookie reliever sensation Chase Lee, who's the closer for the 2019 champion Big Train team. In 2019 for the Big Train, Lee won his only decision, but picked up 7 saves in 25 innings. He pitched to just a 1.08 ERA across 15 games, allowing just 3 earned runs and 16 hits, striking out 48. This year for the Tigers, he has a 3-0 record and a sparkling ERA of just 2.17 across 24 appearances and 29 innings pitched. He has struck out 27. Lee has allowed just 2 earned runs in his last 11 and a third innings pitched dating back to June 10th. He has earned a win and 3 holds in that span. He's one of the key arms in a Tigers bullpen that has them tops in the AL.
Go ahead.
Eliav, Brooks, Rubin, Quincy stepping out for the moment, but joining me is a very special guest, the man behind the scenes, Gibson Hurt. Gibson, how are you doing today?
Doing well. Happy to finally be on air after listening to you guys for almost 30 games, 25 games so far this season.
Now, well, we could not do what we do without you. Andrew Ruggieri to bat against Lucas Marrero. First pitch, Ruggieri squares and then takes strike 1. Gibson, we've done some interviews with other interns, none on air like this in the middle of an inning. Why don't you walk us through what does a day look like for you as a Big Train intern?
So really, my day, it all depends on what the previous day was, whether we were at home or on a road game. Because if we were at home, then I'm going to have everything already set up, all the cameras, all the audio, all of the computer stuff will already be here. So I just got to show up, make sure the stuff's updated and turned back on. But if it's a road game, then I'm bringing everything usually from the back of my car, plugging in the headsets, plugging in the computer, setting everything back up. And it's the same process over and over again, no matter, it just depends on if it's going to take me 5 minutes after a home game or 15 minutes after a road game.
And once the game starts, you're pretty multi-talented back there. You do a number of different roles to make this broadcast work. Walk us through some of those.
Yeah, so the biggest one, probably the most important, is the audio and the cameras. So, I mean, here we don't have people manning the cameras. They're static, so I'll set them up, turn them on, make sure the batteries are staying charged. And then audio, obviously, I have to make sure that we can hear each other, that the stream can hear you guys, and that it's not weird fan noise or static. And then maybe not quite as important, but I also have to keep balls and strikes, which I forgot to add a strike there because I'm talking, but I'm also controlling the scorebook that you see. So I'm making sure that it says the right team, make sure the count's correct, runners on base, and stuff like that.
And that's not to mention your skills as a graphic designer. You've designed a couple of fun graphics for the broadcast.
I haven't done a lot of graphic design. I'll give Caroline most of the credit for that. But, I mean, I designed, like, the lower thirds that we use with your guys' announcers' names, stuff like that. I'm doing a little bit more for the All-Star game that's coming up next week. Looking forward to that and some of the graphics I can make for that. Hopefully people will be watching and enjoy those.
Yeah, that'll be on the Cal Ripken YouTube as opposed to the Big Train. This one flied into center. Alex Pelletier camps under it, and a can of corn for out number 2. Gibson, what kind of graphics are you making for the All-Star game?
So normally if you watch basically any baseball broadcast ever, every time a player comes to bat, you're going to see a lower third with either their season stats or what like we call an 0 for, so 0 for 1, 1 for 1, what they've done today. So it'd be hard for me to do that for every single game in a 40-game season. But for the All-Star game, me and I think Jackson offered to help. We're going to take the time to make a graphic with every player, what team they're on, what their stats are, whether it's ERA, batting average, depending on their position.
That'll be fun to watch. That'll be fun to work with. Jackson, Quincy, and myself will all rotate on the call for the All-Star game, which will be played here at Shirley Povich Field. Stay tuned for more information on that in the middle of this inning, or maybe at the end of this inning, so Gibson's not trying to handle too many things while talking at the same time. Count is 2-0 to the 3-hitter Sam Mosman. Marrero kicks and deals. and in the dirt again. So 2 quick outs, but now behind in the count 3-0. And you're also in our ears sometimes, Gibson. You keep us on track. You provide us with some extra helpful stats from time to time. What's kind of, you do this at the University of Maryland a lot. What have you learned in terms of the best way to, because you don't want to be in our ear too much, and distract us, but at the same time, it's really helpful at times to know, when we're coming back from break, sometimes you'll catch something that the broadcasters miss. What's kind of your mindset in terms of talking to us, but not too much?
At least for me, I always try to do, like, beginning of an inning, end of an inning, I'm always going to tell you whether you're muted, unmuted, coming back. And then in-game, when you guys are actively talking, I'm going to focus on, if you haven't said it, if I've noticed something and it's been 10, 15 seconds, then I'll say something. But you might be finishing your thought. I'm not going to interrupt you. I'll let you finish your thought, and then if you still don't get to it, then I'll mention it.
You finished your thought there. Alex Peltier secures out number 3. Gibson, do you want to join us for the bottom half of the inning?
Sure, why not? Maybe I could do a little bit more color, too.
All right, Gibson will stick with us. I imagine Quincy will come join us again at some point, so it might be a 3-man booth. We will be back momentarily. Stay tuned for more Gibson Hurt. Eliav Brooks-Rubin back with Quincy Bell, and now Gibson Hurt will join us to do a little bit of color analysis, a little 3-man booth. Think SNY with the Mets, Gary, Keith, and Ron. Gibson, why don't you tell us about the new pitcher for the DC Grays?
Yeah, it's Raphael Schneider at a Stevens Institute of Technology, actually hometown of Decatur, Georgia. A lot of Big Train players are from out of town. Some of the other teams, not as much, but fun to see a DC Gray from not the DMV.
A lefty on lefty, and lefty following lefty. Dean Kira works 4 innings, allows just 2 hits, but 3 runs across the plate because of 5 walks and a pair of wild pitches. He struck out just 2. Pop up in foul territory. Dixon Monk ranging over, chasing off third base coach Gavin Morris for out number 1.
Now, Gibson, I'm given to understand that you were a catcher back in your playing days. Walk us through what you liked or haven't liked from the catchers today.
I think they've done a really good job of settling down their pitchers after the walks. Obviously, there's been at least 7 or 8 walks between the two teams, but you see there's only 3 runs. They've made timely mound visits. They've got their pitchers back in the zone, and although there have been a lot of walks, there have been a lot of hits, so they're calming down and getting the next guy.
We've also noticed, looking at the TrackMan, that both catchers have stolen a bunch of strikes, including strike 1 to Skoronsky that was just off the plate. A good frame by Ahagovi.
Yeah, and even on the pitch that Martinez got ejected on, like, yeah, it was below the zone, but the motion from Ahakovi just bringing it up, like the natural motion, it looks like a strike.
And you see Ahakovi on one knee. That's become a lot more popular in the last 5-8 years. You might see some people who think that the one knee down prevents you from blocking, prevents you from throwing out runners, but all this data I've looked at, all of the statistics say that one knee down, it helps you steal that low strike, and it hasn't had any impact on throwing out runners. So that's part of the reason why some of these catchers are so good at stealing strikes.
Yeah, recent stats just released on Baseball Savant have kind of looked at the difference between one knee down or no knees down. I was going to say 2 knees down, but nobody catches like that. Counts 1 and 2 to Skowronski.
And at this high of a level, these catchers are good enough. They know what they're good at. They're not. I understand when people say that maybe young kids shouldn't be starting on one knee right away because they're not strong enough. But these guys are Division I, Division II, Division III players. They know what they're good at and are good at one knee down if they're doing it.
Yeah, all 3 catchers on the Big Train roster are Division I. Isaac Ahakovi out of Nicholls State is too.
Gibby, how good are you with mascots?
I know the Power 4, I guess used to be Power 5 mascots. Probably nowhere near the level of Eliav or even you.
Don't ask him Nicholls State because he listens to everything we said. He already heard this. What about Josh Skowronski at Winthrop?
Are they the Eagles?
They are the Eagles.
We've mentioned that one before.
Yeah, but it's been a while. Skowronski gets into one into center, pushing back Ruggieri, who makes a running catch on the warning track for out number 2.
Compared to his first few weeks, Skowronski is mashing the ball right now. I think of his last probably 10 batted balls, at least 6 of them have been over 90 miles an hour off the bat, and he's starting to elevate the ball. You saw 2 home runs earlier in the week at Metro South County, and he's finally coming alive at the perfect time for the Big Train.
Yeah, Gibson has so many things in front of him, but he always keeps the TrackMan data up just because he's curious.
Another stolen strike by Ahakovi, this time against Matthew Wesley. Wesley's walked twice and been left on second both times. That pitch even farther out of the zone, and Ahakovi no chance to steal strike 2.
When you're like 12 years old, there's always that one kid that will like reach way out, dive for a ball, and then bring it back into the zone.
In.
Or bounces first.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite. This one runs up and in. Yeah, I love when a pitch will just like skip it 55 feet and the catcher grabs it and then just holds it there. Just having a little fun. It's a kid's game after all. 2-1 pitch from Schneider, fouled straight back.
The Big Train have done not a lot with 2 outs. They've scored, I believe, 2 of their runs with 2 outs, but no real big rallies in this game. Kira wasn't great on the mound, but still was able to prevent the big inning from happening, and the Grays still hanging around in this one.
Yeah, I mean, he nearly got an inning-ending double play. Skowronski beat it out to plate 1 run, and then Panette walked to plate another, but no hits with the bases loaded, left 3 guys on in that 3rd inning. That's really what's keeping this game close. If Skowronski, Wesley, Panette, or Martinez, if any of them comes through with a base hit, this could be 4-5-6-0. Instead, it's 3-0, payoff pitch, and Wesley goes down hacking. 1-2-3, go the Big Train. Gibson, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it, and hopefully we'll have you back at some point before the end of the season.
Always a blast, hopefully.
We will be back in a second on the Big Train Baseball Network, but first, a look at the All-Star Game taking place right here at Shirley Povich Field this Wednesday.
Make sure to join us here on July 9th for the Cal Ripken League All-Star Game.
The league's best players will be on display in a star-studded affair.
Tim Kirkchin will be in attendance, so make sure to get your tickets before they sell out.
It'll be the North Division versus the South Division, and you can get your tickets at bigtrain.org/tickets. That's bigtrain.org/tickets.
Stewart on for a 6-out save opportunity. He has not been seen in 5 or 6 days since June 30th, where he worked a season-high 4 innings in that extra inning victory over South County, allowed just 1 hit, 1 walk, struck out 7, and earned the victory.
He's been great this year. No other way around it. 12 and 2/3, no runs, 7 strikeouts, and 68 pitches of relief through 4 innings last time out. It's about time he gets another appearance.
And his first pitch is lined into center field, coming hard as Peltier for out number 1. So 1 pitch, 1 out for Owen Stewart, who has allowed just 6 hits this season and now sits 5 outs away from a Big Train, what could be a Big Train combined no-hitter. The Grays threw a combined no-hitter yesterday. They lost that game 1-0. They had 1 hit in that game, allowed 5 walks, and one of those runners came around to score.
Yeah, and it was only 6 innings because that was also a 7-inning game, but they didn't get to pitch in the bottom half.
A strange circumstance. This one lined in, and that's on me.
You had to say something.
That's on me. That's on me. Owen Stewart allows a hit. Rocco Gilbert breaks up the no-hitter bid, and I will take full responsibility. After this game, I'll go apologize to Stewart and Orthan Marrero. That ball scorched off the bat, 96 miles an hour. But fully my fault. I admit fault. This one lined sharply. Peltier coming hard. He lays out and makes a diving catch. Alex Peltier has recorded the last 4 outs for the Big Train, each one more impressive than the last.
Yeah, that was really impressive. I will say this, Gibby knew better than to mention that there was a no-hitter.
I felt like I had to keep our viewers informed.
That is true.
We lost.
I do think that oftentimes the announcers jinx. It's like you gotta tell people what are happening.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I mention it, one, because this is the 3rd different pitcher we've seen, so it's not like there's one guy working on a no-hitter. And secondly, with the Gibson interview and color commentary, which was fun and a great decision, we did get sidetracked from the game just a little bit while Marrero was on the mound, and I felt like it was important to kind of pick up the spot of where we were. Unfortunately, it results in a bad announcer's jinx. Stewart, though, has bounced back. Well, he's behind in the count 2-1 to Ahakovi. To be clear, not blaming Gibson for getting sidetracked. That was a scheduled interview that just happened to be during a combined no-hitter. Counts 3-1. Stewart's walked just 4 batters all season.
Yeah, for a late reliever, sometimes they struggle with walks, but not Stewart.
This one bounced to third. Panette a nice scoop. Wesley. Panette the one on the receiving end at second for out number 3. So the no-hitter is gone thanks to me and Rocco Gilbert at the plate. But Stewart works out of the 1-out single, and the Big Train will come to bat. 3-0 lead in the bottom of the 6th. Logan Panett to bat. He had an RBI walk in the third. Peyton Steele stands on deck, the replacement for John Martinez after his ejection in the bottom of the third. First pitch to Panett, scalded, but into the bullpen and foul.
At the risk of another announcer's jinx in the top half of the seventh, the Big Train have not gotten a shutout yet this year.
Glad you mentioned that. I can't take 2 jinxes on my record.
I can't let you do that.
This would just be a 7-inning shutout. However, they've gotten close in 7 a couple times and have not been able to secure it. They've allowed 1 run in 3 separate games, once to Southern Maryland, or twice to Southern Maryland, once to Silver Spring, Tacoma. But they do not have a shutout yet. Schneider still on the mound. Panett, a slow bouncer to third, and bobbled and flubbed by Dixon Monk. Waited for the second bounce and could not handle it. So an E5 puts the leadoff man aboard. Just the first error of the game by the Grays.
And now Steele will hit in place of Martinez, who got ejected way back in the third.
We'll see if the 3 innings on the Pine helped Steele bounce back a little bit. Takes strike 1 at the top of the zone. Steele an 0 for 4 day in the 3-hole in game 1. Pitch 2 climbs the ladder. Schneider's been sharp in relief. He's faced 4 batters, the only one on Panett right now via the E5. Went 1-2-3 in the 5th against the heart of the Big Train order. 1-1 count. Pitch runs in on Steele. Two 2-1 at the letters, but this time above the zone.
In 3 runs, you could feel like is manageable in the last half if you're the Grays, but got to really make sure nobody crosses here. You got the bottom of the order after this. If you're Schneider, you got to really attack these hitters. Can't be allowing free passes.
3-1 pitch. Still a little bit of a surprise. He's not a bottom. He's a top of the order hitter, at worst middle. He's hit either 3rd or 5th in every game he's played. But obviously coming off the bench to replace the 7 hitter. So down at the bottom. Here's Parker Corbin with 2 on and nobody out. He is 0 for 2 in this game. Went 0 for 0 in game number 1 with a trio of walks. First pitch to Corbin, right down central for strike 1. Schneider settles, Corbin squares, and then pulls back, but pitch is on the outside part of the plate. Count now 1-1. No, 0-2, excuse me. Scoreboard reads 1-1, but correct count 0-2.
They just changed it on the scoreboard.
Just,
you got to look at Gibby's scoreboard. That one's always right.
Yeah, Gibson always on top of things. Runners take off. Corbin goes down swinging, but a stolen base for Logan Panett. Steele stays put at first, so 1 away, and now runners on the corners.
That's now double-digit stolen bases for Panett. That's his 10th and has not been caught yet this year. Perfect 10 for 10.
Best on the team, second most stolen bases on the team behind Alex Peltier, but most without a caught stealing.
Yeah, Peltier, 17 stolen bases, but has been caught 5 times.
Popped up and foul off the pink bat of Dylan Murphy. Murphy rocking a lot of different colors in this game. He's got the neon yellow arm sleeve, the dark green Big Train jersey and socks, the white pants, and the pink and black bat to go with his black helmet.
Yeah, we thought there was something special about the arm sleeves yesterday, but it was just that someone bought a pack of 4 of them, and everyone wanted one.
Yeah, so Murphy's got one on. Peyton Steele had one on yesterday.
I think Skoronsky and Wesley were the other 2.
Steele actually had one on in game 1. It's off now.
Well, Murphy didn't have one the first time, so I think Steele gave him his.
Murphy was wearing one in the dugout in game 1, while Steele was also wearing it. So he may have picked it up from someone else, or it may have been his all
Maybe there's
along.
more. Maybe there's
Could be more. Whatever it is, it certainly stands out, as does the pink bat. Count at 2-1, and it's high again.
Well, they haven't lost since they've started wearing them. They're 2-0.
Undefeated in the neon yellow arm sleeves.
Not that a team that's 19-6 needs that much superstition, but it could be something.
Fly ball, short left field. Going out is the shortstop Rivera. 2 away in the 6th. Alex Peltier to hit. He is 1 for 2. He doubled in the 4th, hit one off the wall, and walked and scored in the 3rd.
And a big at bat here. You could make this a 4-run cushion, just all that much easier for Stewart in the last inning.
First pitch to Peltier, up and in for ball 1. Quick look around the Ripken League. The Crop Dusters lead the Braves 7-3 at home. It's the only game in action at the moment. The Aces travel to Blair Field to take on the T-Bolts at 7, and the Senators will play in Gaithersburg. That game's at 4.
And those are going to be 2 games that Silver Spring desperately needs to keep up with in any sort with the big train in this division.
Yeah,
they've just been pulling away as of late. Silver Spring has lost their last 5.
Yeah, I should say that Silver Spring Alexandria is a doubleheader. First one scheduled for 5. Second one on the website for 7. I imagine it's either 4 and 7 or 5 and 8, since
it's normally just 30 minutes after the conclusion of game 1.
Yeah, so one way or another, the Aces and the T-Bolts will play 2. 2-0 the count. The Grays trying not to drop 2 to the big train today.
Yeah, the Grays have been above 500 all year since they won on opening day against the big train here at Shirley Povich. But if they lose, they'd be down to 12-12. And for their sake, they would be rooting for the T-Bolts to win so they could keep pace with the Aces.
Also rooting for the Giants, although that, for the most part, has been a hapless journey. Giants sit at just 5-21. Taking off for second is Steele. He'll have it stolen without a throw. Count 3-1 to Peltier, base open. But with the red-hot Brennan Wright on deck, Schneider may want to avoid using it. Set at the belt. Big pitch coming. And Peltier takes ball 4 inside. So the bases are loaded for the second time today. And it's Brennan Wright who has done the most damage of any bat today to hit with the bases loaded and 2 outs. In this game, he's 1 for 2. He scored 2 of the big train's 3 runs, single and a walk. In game 1, he was 2 for 3 with a pair of RBI singles, a walk, including the game-winning RBI single, and then a run scored for insurance later on in that 6th inning.
We're having a mound meeting here, and there's not a soul even thinking about moving in the Grays' pen. So this is going to be Schneider's inning to finish.
And he will get a lefty-on-lefty matchup, but as we've discussed at length this season and mentioned today, Brennan Wright has been spectacular against lefties and just average against righties. Now this is at
I'd say above average.
above average, but average by his standards.
Standards. That's fair. That's fair. No, but like, have you ever seen a lefty through this many games hit that well against same-handed pitching? Because I don't think I have.
Maybe Shohei Ohtani. That's about it. Ball 1 to Brennan Wright. Quincy, going to check my facts, check his MVP season.
So it says this year Ohtani is hitting .265 against lefties. Now, granted, that is still really good, and that's still the MLB, but
not quite .460 plus, which is what Brennan Wright's doing. Counts 1-1. Fly ball the other way, hanging up for Mosman, and out number 3. Big Train leave the bases loaded, but come to the field in the top of the 7th with a 3-0 lead, looking for the first team shutout of the season. Big Train 3 outs away from a 9th straight win, which would tie the season high for a team in the Cal Ripken League, matching the Senators' 9 that they ripped off after an opening day loss. Owen Stewart, the man called to action, out for a second inning of work after working a 4-batter 6th, allowed the hit to break up the no-hitter. Misses with his first 2 to Dixon Monk, the 9-hitter. Lineup turns over to Ruggieri and Rivera. (2-0) outside. So Stewart behind 3-0. He's walked just 4 batters this season across 13 2/3. And finds his zone for strike 1. Delivers again and has worked it full. Pop fly, trailing out of play and taking root on the concourse. Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Down goes Dixon Monk. First strikeout of the afternoon for Owen Stewart.
2 outs away from the first shutout, albeit through just 7 innings. And the Big Train have struggled in the second half of these doubleheaders. They lost to Silver Spring once and lost to the Aces once.
First pitch to Ruggieri, a strike. Ruggieri 0 for 1 on the day. He has walked twice, has been stranded both times. He also popped out to first. Ball 1 at his back foot. Stewart working with speed and ahead in the count 1-2. Stewart does not like to wait around. He is catch it and go. He and Murphy on the same page, along with pitching coach Craig Lopez. Nods his assent. Glove comes to the mouth, now drops to the belt. This one, broken bat, just goes foul. And Ruggieri will have to check with the dugout for a replacement.
So, I know you have to pitch, it's like 5 innings to get a win as a starter. Does that still apply for 7-inning games?
I think in 7-inning games, they usually give it if a guy pitches 4. I've seen 3 2/3. I imagine it'll be Marrero's win, but it could be, they could give it to Orth. We will see. Be up to our scorer, Nick DeFalco. Stewart, a rare shakeoff of Murphy. now comes home. And a wave and a miss. Back-to-back Ks for Owen Stewart. He is 1 out away. Noel Rivera represents the final hope for the Grays. They're chasing 3 runs in a game that has just 3 combined hits. Check swing and no offering. Rivera's bat matching Stewart's glove. Ground ball up the middle. Panette to the backhand, cannot secure it. And another base hit. The Grays are not quite dead.
Yeah, this is a team that's going to battle.
Sam Mosman to the plate. Mosman 1 for 2 in game 1, 0 for 2 in game 2. He's got a walk in both. Stewart a curveball for strike 1. This one grounded right side and through. Rivera will stop at second, but the tying run coming to the plate. The Grays showing a little fight late.
Yeah, of all the guys you'd expect to give up the no-hitter, I would expect it the least out of Stewart. Only allowed 1 hit in 4 innings against the Braves, and has only allowed 4 hits in his last 5 appearances, going back to the 19th against Gaithersburg. This is his 9th appearance, which is the most in the Ripken League.
Ryan Grace is the tying run. He takes ball 1 outside. Grace has a pair of doubles on the season. Those are his only extra base hits. Big, tall first baseman, so might have some home run pop, but has not shown it yet. As quick as you can blink, Owen Stewart behind in the count, 2-0. Locates the slider for strike 1.
Yeah, sometimes when the fastball's missing, if you can locate the off-speed stuff, it can really help you get back into counts, then you can rear up the fastball later.
Well, he goes back to the slider and gets a perfectly placed pitch on the outside corner for strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 men on. A 3-0 Big Train lead. Stewart nods, now kicks, deals, and spoiled by Ryan Grace.
And Grace, 342 on base. He is going to make Stewart work for this last out.
Stewart's 2-2. Bounce right to short. 2-hopper to right. Soft serve for out number 3. Full steam ahead. The Big Train have won 9 in a row. A 3-0 score. The Big Train's first shutout as a team. It's in 7-inning fashion. Trevor Orth and Lucas Marrero combined for 5 no-hit innings. Owen Stewart works a 6-out save. The offense came with just 2 hits. They were out-hit in the end by the Grays 3-2. But the walks and the timely base running produced the 3 runs. And the Big Train sweep the doubleheader. They move to 20-6 with 2 games left before the All-Star break. Quincy.
Yeah, great win. And we mentioned this when Jackson and I were on the call earlier. You have to be able to win in a variety of different ways. You're not going to be able to win every game 21-8. You're going to have to scrap out a 3-0 win every once in a while. The Grays, give them credit. They pitched well today. But it just shows you how good this team is and how strong they will be come playoff time, that they can win games 3-0 and 15-13.
Final score 3-0. Lucas Marrero, your winning pitcher for 2 no-hit innings, the 4th and 5th. He walked 1, struck out 1. He and Orth were magnificent. Dean Kira, the loser, he walked 5 across 4 innings, gave up 2 hits, 3 earned, struck out 2. Owen Stewart picks up his 3rd save of the season, works 2 scoreless, still has not allowed a run, strikes out 2 and gets a fielder's choice to end the game. Big Train are 20-6. They are at home again tomorrow against the Alexandria Aces, and then on the road in Olney before the All-Star break. They are dominating the league at the moment. A runaway freight train. That'll do it from Shirley Povich Field until 7 p.m. tomorrow. For Quincy Bell, Gibson Hurt, our producer, and also guest analyst, and everyone else who makes this product work, I'm Eliab Brooks Rubin. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your Sunday.